Hey everybody, welcome back. So you guys liked my simple recipe before with the freeze-dried Wholesalers food. Today, we're going to try another one that's perfect for a lazy Sunday. Today we're going to try out making some macaroni and cheese. Alright, so welcome back folks. I hope you guys are having an awesome day. Today what we've got is the freeze-dried Wholesalers elbow pasta, and we've used that in a few other dishes before. You've seen that. Freeze-dried cheddar cheese. This is going to be interesting to try out. I've tried all their other cheeses. So far, they've been really good, but we're going to be cool to try that out. And this is something completely new. This is the freeze-dried cheese powder. It's white cheddar. So, what I'm going to do is hydrate the pasta, and how I do that, since it's really not all that dehydrated, is I just heat up a bowl of water. I put in as much pasta as I want, and I let it boil for a few minutes till everything's soft. Strain it, and I'm going to pour the cheese powder in, as well as the cheddar cheese. We're going to hydrate this in a sec. And that's it. It's really that simple. So let me get a bag. I'm going to start off with this stuff first here. I want to show you how I hydrate the cheeses. All the cheeses are pretty much the same. You're going to stick them in a Ziploc bag, let them sit for, I don't know, maybe 20, 30, 40 minutes. Before you know it, you'll pour off the excess water, and you've got cheese in there. You can also put them in the fridge with a little bit of water overnight, and they'll hydrate as well, but this is a faster way to do it. So let me get that set up. Alright, so I got the bag open over here, and I have a Ziploc bag. I'm just going to put a little bit in here. Really what I'm doing this for is almost more for color and for a little bit of thickness and taste, because the powders, when I've used freeze-dried cheese powders in the past, they can be kind of plain. So I want to add the cheddar. Now that is cheddar flavor. That's what's making it possible to dig in here. There we go. The cheddar is going to give it a little more zing to it, and that's just what I want. So I don't need a ton, because we're already going to have a good amount of cheese powder in there. But I figured a little bit will help it out. That should be about good. Put that back. And guys, for those of you new watching this who have not watched this in the past, remember my link down below will save you 15% on anything on their site. So just by clicking the link, there's no codes, there's no BS. You click the link, everything is discounted 15%, and you are good to go. Alright, a little bit more water in there. There, don't worry about putting too much water in. That I don't want you to worry about, because you're going to strain this out no matter how little water you put in there. And the more water you put in, the faster it will hydrate. So we're just going to leave that to the side, stick it over here, zip it up. And the next thing I'm going to do is put a pot up here with my stove, and we're going to have a portion of pasta in it, and we are going to hydrate the pasta. Really, this isn't all that dehydrated. It just needs a few minutes in boiling water, and the next thing you know, it's soft and perfect. Then we'll strain that, and then we'll make the cheese powder while we're waiting for the pasta to finish. So let me get that set up. Alright, so I have a pot going here, and this is just a pot from my kitchen. This isn't a camping kit, a camping pot. And a lot of what I think about for freeze-dried food when it comes to this stuff is more for home use during an emergency. Definitely handy for stuff like that. During some kind of power outage, some kind of run on the stores, whatever, like we experienced last March, you've got all this food put away and you're ready to go. So I'm just going to dump this in. I'm going to kind of eyeball it. One of the things I like about freeze-dried Wholesalers is you can do just that. That's about 3/4 of the bag. You can eyeball it, and you're really not going to run into any issues. As long as you drain off the excess water, chances are you'll be pretty good. I may do a little bit more, actually, because I want a little bit of this more for my lunch the next day. Yeah, let's dump that in there. So now all I'm going to do is heat this up, hydrate that. Let it get hydrated. And let it sit. It can just sit there and take its time, no rush. Now we're going to set up the cheese powder. Alright, so we got the cheese powder ready to go. Opened it up. It is a very fine, kind of fluffy powder, so know that when you're dealing with it. It's going to get everywhere. And what I'm going to do with this is just add some cold water until I get the consistency I want, and it's going everywhere like I predicted. You know what? We're going to just dump it in. I got a feeling that spoon is making more of a mess than it's worth. Alright, so that's about right there. That's probably going to be a whole lot. Might be too much, but we're going to try it out anyway. Let me get my mess out of the way here as best I can. And we're just going to dump in some water there. And slowly whisk stuff in. It's amazing how, since I've been doing YouTube, I'm so much more coordinated with my left hand. I can actually stir. A few years ago I'd been like, I can actually stir with my left hand. So, what I'm going to do is kind of mix this up to taste, to thickness and consistency that I want. And once that's fully done, this really doesn't need much of anything. This is so ridiculously simple here that all you're going to really need to do with this is just pour it into your stuff once you strain it. Once you strain your noodles and they're all fully hydrated, you're just going to pour it in there and you're done. So let me get a little bit more in there. And that's looking pretty darn good, to be honest with you. That will thicken up the more I mix it, because I'm going to break up kind of clumps in there. And I'm aware you probably should have added the water first and then the powder or whatever, but this works pretty well. And I'll tell you something, if 10 years ago you told me I would have been cooking something with freeze-dried cheese powder, I would have said, ugh, gross. Let me see how it tastes. Wow, that really tastes like cheddar cheese. I'm really shocked. That totally tastes like cheddar cheese. Does need a little more stirring because, as you can tell, there's some little pieces stuck in there. But yeah, while that's going, I can do this and be done. So let me clean up my mess, get this finished up, and we'll wait for the pasta to be done. We'll strain it and we'll try this out. All right, so the pasta is slowly kind of simmering. It's starting to look and feel like it's fully hydrated. Give it a few more minutes. As for this, yeah, we got a whole lot of mess there. But don't worry, because that will look like cheese in a minute. That's why I brought this out here to show you. I want to strain it into it. Kind of gonna strain it out. Back down there. I want to get the cheese down and the water out. There we go. Yeah, you just literally squeeze it. That's it. It's that simple. You're just going to squeeze that out. Next thing you know, you got cheddar cheese. Now, is it a little damp? Yeah, it is. If you put it in the fridge, that will kind of remove itself from there. I'm not too worried about that because I'm just going to be dumping it right in here with the cheese powder and mixing it all together. I'm not really stressing about it. It's going to be one quick, easy meal. So let me grab a noodle here. Whoop, 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 whoop. Drop them. Yep, they're done. So I'm going to strain these because I didn't bring a strainer out. And we'll dump everything in and see how it turns out. All right, so it's all strained up. We're going to put the sauce in first, the cheese sauce. I'm just kind of mix it in there like that. Hopefully I got, yeah, wow, that did mix up pretty well. Awesome. Okay. Now to thicken it up a little bit, I am going to put my cheddar in there. And I'm just going to cover it and let it sit for a little. Then we'll come back and try it once everything's kind of melted together and ready to go. And if you want to talk about an easy, simple meal to put together, you know, in an emergency or disaster, kids will love it, everyone will love it, everyone will be happy. Really can't beat it. That is a really simple meal to put together. So I'm going to cover this and let it sit for a few minutes. Let everything kind of melt in. Got my cheese stuck in the middle there. Let everything kind of melt in, and we will see how this turns out. I think it's going to turn out pretty darn good. It already smells great. So let's cover it up. Give it a few minutes, and it does taste good. And we'll bring you back. All right, as always, it's impressed me. That food is just so darn good. I want you to take a look here quickly. Nice cheesy taste to it. That is good. Does need a little salt. Other than that, it is perfect. So that is an easy, super easy meal for you to make with your freeze-dried Wholesalers food. And I mean, that was 3 items. They're not expensive items. You can throw them in your cart. You get 15% off for clicking my link. So that makes it so much easier for you and cheaper. And it gives you a way to be prepared no matter what. Yeah, it's not health food. It's not going to, this is not going to be, your keto diet or anything. But it is going to keep you alive if there's no food on the shelves. And, after March, I want people to understand that that's a very real threat. It could really happen again. And all we need is some kind of crazy lockdown or some kind of big incident. And I can guarantee you, because people have already experienced it in this generation, the first thing they do is start in the toilet paper, head to the canned food, and clean out the stores. So having some extra food is always a good idea. They make the best freeze-dried food. I mean, there's a little bit of a premium. It's a little more expensive than some stuff. but it is absolutely on point as far as taste goes. So that's the freeze-dried Wholesalers mac and cheese. That's my recipe. I just threw it together for fun, and I'm pretty pleased with it. Their link is down below. Like I've said at least twice, you can get 15% off by clicking their link. Just click the link. It'll take you to the site. All the prices are automatically discounted 15%. And for something like cheese powder, cheddar cheese, and noodles, that's not going to hurt your wallet too much. Having something like that ready to go in an emergency, can't beat it. Don't forget to check all our other links as well. Our My Patriot Supplies, preparewithiridium.com, our Thrive Life Freeze Dried, and our Amazon affiliate store as well. Anyway, folks, I'm going to eat some dinner. I want to thank you for watching. Stay safe and stay prepared.